Right now, as you are watching this, a massive wall of tropical moisture is barreling across northern Australia, and it is about to collide with a heat dome sitting over the interior that has already pushed temperatures past 45 degrees. What happens next will affect every single capital city in this country over the next 24 hours. And if you live in Brisbane or Cairns, you need to hear what is coming before you step outside tomorrow morning. Here is what I promise you in this video. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through every major city and region in Australia, one by one, with exact temperatures, exact rainfall numbers, and the exact timing of when storms will hit your area this Sunday, the 8th of February, 2026. And stay with me until the 5-minute mark, because that is where I reveal the one city that is about to cop the most dangerous conditions of the entire day. And it is probably not the city you are expecting. But first, let me drop a number on you that sets the scene for everything. Australia, all 7.7 million square kilometres of her, is currently sitting in the absolute peak of summer. Humidity in the tropical north has hit 78%. The inland deserts are cooking past 40 degrees daily. And February is statistically the wettest month for more than half the country. This Sunday is shaping up to be one of the most dramatic weather days we have seen in weeks. Now, before we go city by city, drop a comment below telling me where you are watching from right now, your city, your town, your region. I read every single comment and I will personally reply with the specific forecast details for your exact area. Do not scroll past this. Tell me where you are and I will get back to you, right? Let us start where most Australians are. Sydney. Sydney is looking at a top of around 25 degrees on Sunday, with an overnight low sitting at about 21. Now, 25 might sound mild for February, and it is. Sydney has seen scorching heat waves push past 35 degrees this summer, so this Sunday is a welcome break. But here is the twist. February is one of Sydney's wettest months. The city averages 86.2 millimetres of rain spread across roughly 23 rain days this month alone. That means there is a genuine chance of showers popping up at almost any point during the day, especially from late afternoon into the evening. So here is your timing breakdown for Sydney. Morning, generally settled. You have your best window for outdoor plans between about 7 and 11 in the morning. Midday through to early afternoon, clouds start building. Late afternoon into evening, that is when the showers are most likely to roll through. Winds will sit around 24 kilometres per hour, enough to feel a breeze at the beach, but not enough to ruin your day. And one critical number for Sydney, the ultraviolet index is still extreme in February. We are talking 11 plus. Sunscreen is not optional. It is survival gear. Slip, slop, slap. Every single time you step outside, inland New South Wales is a completely different story. Temperatures out west push to 32 to 35 degrees and rainfall drops off dramatically away from the coast. Now let us head south. Melbourne. You know how they say Melbourne gives you 4 seasons in one day? Even in February, that reputation holds. But this Sunday, Melbourne is actually looking gorgeous, a top of 24 degrees, overnight low of about 18. A gentle southerly breeze at 20 kilometres per hour, bringing cool air off Port Phillip Bay. Barometric pressure is steady. This is about as settled as Melbourne gets. Here is the surprise though. Despite the beautiful forecast, Melbourne in February still averages between 3 and 8 rainy days. The chance of rain on the 8th sits at 54%. So yes, it looks stunning on paper, but chuck a compact umbrella in your bag because Melbourne will always keep you guessing. Sea temperatures in the bay have hit their annual peak at around 18.8 degrees. That is as warm as Port Phillip gets all year. Cool enough to make you gasp when you wade in, but warm enough for a proper swim if you commit to it. Nearby Geelong will see similar conditions. Interestingly, February is actually Geelong's wettest month, with about 10.1 rain days and around 40 millimetres of rainfall. Do not skip ahead just yet, because the next city on our list is about to deliver some genuinely shocking rainfall numbers. Stay with me. Brisbane, the capital of Queensland, the so-called Sunshine State. But February in Brisbane is actually the wettest month of the entire year, and the numbers are staggering. A top of 28 degrees on Sunday, low of 22, hot, muggy and absolutely classic Brisbane summer. But the real story is the rain. Brisbane sees more than 20 rain days in February, with average total rainfall hitting 172.3 millimetres. That is double what Sydney gets. Let that sink in. Here is your storm timing for Brisbane. Morning, often clear or partly cloudy. Early afternoon, massive tropical thunderstorm clouds start building. Between about 2 and 5 in the afternoon, that is when the heavens open. Lightning, bucketing rain, the works. Then the sun pops back out like nothing happened. Classic subtropical behaviour. And here is the safety warning every Queenslander knows by heart. If it is flooded, forget it. After heavy downpours, low-lying areas, underpasses and roads along the Brisbane River can flood rapidly. Do not drive through floodwater, not ever. Sea temperatures in Brisbane peak in February at 27 degrees. South Bank and the Gold Coast beaches will be packed. The Gold Coast also cops its wettest month in February, with sea temperatures hitting a beautiful 27.2 degrees. Now we go further north, and this is where things get serious. Cairns and far north Queensland. If you thought Brisbane was humid, Cairns in February is on another level entirely. Average temperatures hover around 28 degrees, with highs pushing to 31 and lows refusing to drop below 26. But the temperature is not the real enemy here. It is the humidity, 75 to 78%. You step outside and you are drenched in sweat within 30 seconds. No exaggeration. And here is the number that will make your jaw drop. Rainfall in Cairns during February averages 322 millimetres. That is nearly double Brisbane and roughly 4 times what Sydney gets. Spread across about 13 days of serious heavy rain. These are not gentle showers. These are full tropical deluges that can last for hours with strong wind gusts. Storm timing for Cairns. Mornings are your only reliable window. Storms build from late morning and hit hard from midday through early evening. If you are visiting the Great Barrier Reef this Sunday, check sea conditions first. Visibility drops after storms wash sediment into the water. Inland Western Queensland is even more extreme, with temperatures potentially exceeding 38 to 40 degrees. Remember, I promised you the most dangerous conditions at the 5-minute mark. Here it is. Darwin, the capital of the Northern Territory, and the conditions up there right now are genuinely punishing. If I had to describe Darwinist weather on the 8th of February in one word, it would be suffocating. Humidity sits at a brutal 78%. Daytime temperatures regularly hit 32 to 34 degrees. Overnight lows refuse to drop below 25 to 26 degrees. There is no relief. Not during the day, not at night. The heat hits you like a physical wall the moment you step outside. Darwin is in the middle of what the locals call the wet. Afternoon thunderstorms are virtually a daily occurrence. The pattern runs like clockwork. Massive storm clouds build around midday. By 3 to 5 in the afternoon, they crack open with spectacular lightning and torrential rain. A single Darwin thunderstorm can dump 50 to 100 millimetres in just a couple of hours, more than some southern cities see in an entire month. Your morning window for Darwin is before midday, when it is often clear or partly cloudy. By afternoon, take shelter. And one critical safety warning for Darwin. The wet season is peak season for box jellyfish and saltwater crocodile activity. Do not swim at natural beaches. Do not swim in rivers or creeks. The public pools and the swimming lagoon at the waterfront are your safest options. Take this seriously. Now let us fly all the way across to the other side of the country, Perth. And here is where the mood completely changes, because Perth is about to have an absolute dream of a day. Perth enjoys a Mediterranean climate, and February is the driest month of the entire year. The city averages just 2.1 rain days for the whole month, with a grand total of only 9 millimetres of rainfall. Compare that to Brisbane's 172 millimetres and Cairns' 322. Perth is practically bone dry. Temperatures on Sunday will range from 19 to 20 degrees overnight, climbing to 31 to 35 degrees by midday. Skies will be clear and blue. And in the afternoon, the famous sea breeze the locals call the Fremantle Doctor will sweep in from the coast, dropping the temperature beautifully. But here is the catch. The ultraviolet index in Perth during February regularly hits 11 plus extreme level. SPF 50 plus sunscreen and a wide brimmed hat are absolutely non-negotiable. Inland Western Australia is even hotter. The Pilbara and Kimberley regions could surge past 40 degrees with big thunderstorms and localised flooding. Adelaide next. South Australia's laid-back capital, nestled between the hills and the vineyards. Adelaide is expected to see highs of 28 to 32 degrees on Sunday, but here is the variable that changes everything: wind direction. If the wind blows from the north, bringing air from the desert interior, temperatures can spike dramatically, sometimes blasting past 40 degrees. But if the wind comes from the south or southwest, carrying cool marine air, conditions will be noticeably more comfortable. Sea temperatures in Adelaide peak in February at about 20 degrees. Not tropical, but warm enough for a decent swim at Glenelg or Henley Beach without too much grumbling. Deep in the South Australian interior, Lake Eyre is almost completely dry right now. South Australia truly is a state of two halves when it comes to weather. Down to the bottom of the country now, Hobart, Tasmania. And if the tropical heat has been stressing you out, Hobart is about to feel like a cool glass of water. Tasmania sits at roughly 42 degrees south latitude. It is Australia's coldest state, and even in the middle of summer, the weather is noticeably cooler than the mainland. Temperatures in Hobart on Sunday will range from 12 to 13 degrees in the early morning and late evening, rising to a pleasant 21 to 24 degrees during the middle of the day. That is what most people would call absolutely perfect. Warm enough for a t-shirt, cool enough to bring a light jacket just in case. Sea temperatures in Hobart average about 16.5 degrees in February. That is genuinely cold. Sunrise on the 8th comes at about 6:11 in the morning, and sunset is not until around 8:36 in the evening. Over 14 hours of daylight. One of the great perks of a Tassie summer, and we cannot leave out the national capital. Canberra. Canberra sits inland at about 580 metres above sea level, creating one of the biggest temperature swings of any Australian city. On Sunday, daytime temperatures could reach 28 to 32 degrees, but overnight drops right down to 13 to 16 degrees, a swing of 15 to 18 degrees in one day. Classic Canberra. Canberra is generally drier than Sydney in February, but afternoon thunderstorms are still possible when hot interior air collides with moisture from the east. Quickly to Newcastle, also in its wettest month, with about 14.7 rain days and around 79 millimetres of rainfall. Temperatures between 20 and 28 degrees with high humidity. Expect the classic February rhythm of shower, sunshine, shower again. And finally, the vast outback. The sunburnt heart of this continent, the Australian interior in February, is the most unforgiving environment on the entire landmass. Alice Springs, the country around Uluru, the Simpson Desert, they regularly smash through 35 to 40 degrees and can push to a brutal 45. Overnight temperatures drop to around 20 to 25 degrees, but the daytime heat is relentless. Rainfall in the central outback is wildly unpredictable. Nothing for weeks. Then a massive thunderstorm dumps tens of millimetres in hours, turning dry creek beds into raging torrents. Desert flash flooding is extremely dangerous and can catch travellers completely off guard. If you are heading into the outback this Sunday, carry at least 5 to 10 litres of water per person per day and have emergency communication gear. Always tell someone your itinerary before you go. So here is your quick summary for Sunday, the 8th of February. Sydney, 25 degrees, watch for afternoon showers. Melbourne, 24 degrees, a beauty of a day. Brisbane, 28 degrees, afternoon thunderstorms almost guaranteed. Cairns, deep in the wet season with extreme rainfall. Perth, sunny, dry, the standout day on the map. Adelaide, 28 to 32 depending on wind direction. Darwin, the most punishing conditions in the country. Hobart, a cool and pleasant 21 to 24 degrees. Canberra, big swings between hot days and cool nights. and the outback scorching past 40 with flash flooding risk. Wherever you are this Sunday, remember the 3 golden rules of an Aussie summer. First, slip, slop, slap. Protect your skin from the ultraviolet every single time. Second, stay hydrated, especially if you are out in the heat. Third, keep checking the latest updates from the Bureau of Meteorology to stay safe and informed. Now, I need you to do 2 things before you go. First, drop a comment right now with your city or town so I can give you the specific forecast for your exact area. And second, make sure you are following this channel because tomorrow I am releasing an updated forecast that includes a developing weather system in the Coral Sea that could change everything for the eastern seaboard later this week. You do not want to miss that one. I will see you